Piles we have Travis is our 9-pointer here. Or sorry, no. Will is our 9-pointer. My apologies. Will is the 9-pointer. Travis is the 6-pointer. So if Will wins, Will is locked for top 4. He can't miss at that point. The other 9-pointers we have are Cody, Tim, Richard, and Neil, who we've all had on camera today. So we'll see what happens. So starting it off here, Travis has a Wandering Fumarole. Will has a Forest into a Tomb with Ether. So yeah, right now, if Will wins, he's locked. If he loses, however, it's going to go to Breakers. So it's going to be interesting if Will misses on this matchup. Now, I've actually played this match quite a bit. I had a green-black variant deck built before, and someone else here at the store, Martin, our head judge, actually has blue-red Emerge built. We've played this matchup quite a few times. If I remember correctly, blue-red won more than it lost, so it could be interesting here. So Travis, his third land is a Sanctum of Ugin. There is in play right now a Long Tusk Cub. Travis is going to be discarding a Fire Temper to a Tormenting Voice, and the Temper is going to kill the Cub. Yeah, Martin pointing out here that he feels it's pretty heavily in the favor of Travis right now. Of course, it's not a guarantee. Draw can determine a lot of things, but yeah, I have to agree. I think it's pretty head to. So there is a Greenbelt Rampager. So this one it wasn't in our earlier energy deck. This is the 3/4 elephant for 1. When it comes into play, pay 2 energy. If you can't, it goes back to your hand and you get an energy. So we have here another copy of Tormenting Voice. It's discarding an advanced Stitchwing. We'll take a look at the advanced one. Before, he mainly had... should I spell advanced properly? Before he was using this with the Stitchwing Scob. This is the advanced Stitchwing. It's a little different. This one costs 3 to return. Still has the 2 discard requirement. However, it's a 3/4 flyer instead of a 3/1, and it costs 5. So the Deep Fiend then only costs blue to emerge. Pretty big. Here's a Rishkar coming down. It's going to combo with the Snake nicely. He's going to go ahead, target the Elephant and the Snake with a +1/+1 counter, which, because of the Snake, then get 2 each. So that's an attack for 9 coming across. Travis does fall to 11 here, so he is under pressure here. Now, I don't believe there's a return in his graveyard yet, so a Deep Fiend doesn't quite get him out of the situation just yet. Now, with that being said, he could discard a return to the Stitchwing, the advanced Stitchwing. I had no idea what was in his hand there. That was way too close and too much glare. Yeah, so there's no returns in his hand, has been confirmed by my spotter here. Which is a little rough because it is the best card in this matchup. So he does nothing except for play a land and say go. That's a big one. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, comes down here from Will. Her -2 to give all your creatures a +1/+1 counter is huge with the Snake in play. Everything will get 2 counters this way. Now, Travis is likely going to have a response here to this. Why is our timer stopped? What happened there? Our timer's going to be a little bit off here if this does go to turns. It looks like I got paused by accident at some point. Not sure what happened there, but we have an accurate timer upstairs going, so it's not a problem. So here is the advanced Stitchwing. He discards 2 lands. So this is rough because there's no prized amalgams, no K returns, just nothing good coming from this hand right now. If there is another Deep Fiend, he can at least stymie it a bit here. He's going to, it looks like. Yeah. He's going to tap the 3 creatures, and I imagine Will's 4th land. Will's hand, if I'm not mistaken, right now is a Glintsleeve Siphoner, a Fatal Push, and a Walking Ballista. So nothing to do in response. Now, Travis can, of course, kill this Nissa, but how much that really matters, I don't think very much. The Elephant is now a 7/8. The Snake is a 6/7. Rishkar himself is a 4/4. This board's getting too big for Travis to handle, even with multiple Deep Fiends. We're going to attack Will, who will fall to 15. And then Travis is going to return, or is actually just going to fire off a Fiery Temper and kill Nissa. He is dead to this attack, though, so he does need to have another Elder Deep Fiend. And he did not sacrifice that Sanctum of Ugin last turn, so it's not a guarantee he has one. Again, okay, he has 2 Deep Fiends in hand, so he's not dead. I'm curious if he can chain together enough Deep Fiends to survive. To be honest, I almost like tapping down the Elephant and 3 lands there. Okay, he is going to sacrifice to find another Deep Fiend, so that's going to leave him with 2 Deep Fiends in hand still. But Will does now get to play some creatures. So it's not going to be a consistent string of 5 damage coming across to Will's face, as Travis does get to, or Will does get to play some creatures here. Now, I think he's only going to play 1. He has a Glint Sleeve, another Snake, another Rishkar, and a... no, there's no Snake. My apologies. He has Rishkar, Ballista, Fatal Push, and Glintsleeve Siphoner. So we'll see what he brings down. He's going to go ahead and play the Glintsleeve Siphoner. So that's going to give him 2 energy, and on his upkeep he gets to draw an extra card if he wishes by paying a life and 2 energy. I mean, if you're Travis, you have to just attack you. You don't get a choice. Like, you have to hope somehow chaining together 4 Deep Fiends wins you the game. Yeah, Will falls to 10. So, I mean, that's 2 turns down. It's likely Will's going to draw an extra card, go to 9. We're going to lightning. Oh, that's okay. That's good. We're going to lightning axe the Rishkar, discarding Fiery Temper to kill the Glintsleeve Siphoner. Okay, so that removes 2 more threats, and a good one in Siphoner as well. Now, okay, so we're going to upkeep, tap down all of your black sources and your creatures. Okay, so Will only with green mana this turn. There is a Ballista in his hand, so he drew a Cub as well. All right, let's see. Cub comes down. That's fine. No energy gain for that. That's only on a damage trigger. It looks like he's gonna pay right now to put 4 counters on the Cub. This is fine because this Cub now gets to block Deep Fiend, and there's no chance for Travis to interact with it in the middle of it all. So he can't, catch Will off guard like that. This is gonna stop Travis's attacks here. If Travis had another land and 2 other cards, okay, a Stitchwing Scob comes down. That's not very important here. Travis isn't dead. 6. Yeah, there's no way for him. There's no way for him to keep one of these blockers around. He's gonna have to chump with both, I'm fairly certain. I think Will's leaning towards playing another Rishgar here, which I think is correct. Give another 4 power. He could also just play... Actually, can he just win here? This will give 3 counters total. He's going to shoot the Scob out of the air. That's going to be game. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Will does take down game 1. Travis tried his best with 4 Deep Fiends to fight through that, but couldn't quite get there. The 4th one was still in hand, but looking at sideboards here, Travis has 2 Dispel, 2 Release the Gremlins, 2 Key to the City, 2 Negate, a Fevered Visions, a Fiery Temper, 2 Nahiri's Wrath, a Pilgrim's Eye, and 2 Wretched Griff. So I like bringing in the Nahiri's Wraths here, because you can get big numbers on Nahiri's Wrath with this deck and kill multiple things. Wretched Griff could be okay as more ways to trigger Kozilek's Return. Will's sideboard, on the other hand, we have 1 Lifecrafter's Bestiary, 2 Lost Legacy, 2 Tireless Tracker, 1 Ob Nicholas Reignited, 3 Transgress the Mind, 2 Aethersphere Harvester, 2 Natural Obsolescence, and 2 To the Slaughters. So for Will's side, I like Tireless Trackers, because if it gets to a grindy point, then you're okay. I don't mind Transgress the Mind either. That could actually be alright. I don't see much. I mean, maybe there's an argument for Lost Legacy, but I'm not a huge fan of that. You can Lost Legacy away as Deep Fiends maybe, but that's like about it. I don't like anything else being targeted there. Yeah, I don't like that much too much, so we'll see here. Travis will have the play. Now, an important point of that game, however, to keep in mind, Travis didn't see any prized amalgams, and he saw 0 Kozilek's Returns. Arguably 2 of the more important cards in the matchup. Amalgam, if nothing else, to be a recurring blocker sometimes, but also to just be another threat. The Kozilek's Return, on the other hand, that's potentially, or likely just is, the best card in the matchup. Being able to flash back and kill, Snake plus some other things is just huge. So if Travis has that kind of draw again where he doesn't see those key cards, he could be in trouble here. If he sees those cards, though, we could have a different outcome here, but we'll see what happens. All right, so players just finishing cutting each other's decks here. Again, we'll have Travis on the play this game. Excuse me. I think Will has a 1-lander. No, I lied. He has 2, maybe 3 lands. And he has both colors, so I think Will's fine. Travis looks to be okay as well. Yep, we have Spire Bluff, Canal, and Go. Yeah, Will also draws off the top of his deck of Blooming Marsh. It's pretty important. Rampager getting energy. That's fine. Put it back in his hand. An island from Travis. So no turn 2 discard spell here, whether it be Tormenting Voice or Cathartic Reunion. Another Marsh comes down. And there's a Siphoner. And we're going to have an end of turn Lightning Axe discarding one of the Scobs. There is a Sanctum of Ugin and a pass of the turn. Swamp for Will. And we're going to have... I believe we're going to have... oh, let's see, he's looking at Cub instead, possibly. Nope. Snake and Elephant to follow up. Has to use both the energy, of course. Elephant is not a may. If you have the energy to pay, you have to pay it. End of turn, however, we're going to discard Negate and Prized Amalgam on the end of Will's main phase 2. So we're going to bring back the Amalgam and the Scob. So now we're attacking for 6. However, the Amalgam not really being a good attacker here in the face of a 3/4 Elephant. Greenbelt Rampager, pretty good at checking amalgams. Fevered Visions comes down. This is an interesting one. So, Fevered Visions, beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, the Visions does 2 damage to them. So this is a way for the blue-red deck to keep up on its card draw. When it's discarding 2 cards a turn to bring things back, not necessarily a turn, but when it's discarding 2 at a time to bring things back, it needs to refill somehow. And this is the way to do it while also being kind of a win con at the same time. An attack for 3 from the Elephant will even the score up at 17 apiece. Will's going to have a read of the Visions just to make sure he's fully aware of what it does. Currently has 4 cards in hand, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 2-drops and 2 5-drops. He's going to draw a card and take 2, so Will's going to fall to 15 from the Visions. We're going to Lightning Axe, discarding another Scab to kill the Snake. It's important because the 2 5-drops in Will's hand are both Verdurous Gearhulks. It looks like he's debating if he wants to Grasp of Darkness here. It doesn't matter if it isn't a response or not. I mean, it's not going to change the power toughness of Travis' creatures. So, yep, Snake dies. Still a Scab in the graveyard, which is important. We're going to go ahead and Grasp the other Scab. That's fine. Will's going to fall to 12 from the Amalgam attack. Travis draws a card off of his own Fever Visions and passes the turn back. So, all right. So Travis not in a bad spot. If Will finds a 5th land, he's okay as well. He does not, however. He's going to attack for 3. Travis is going to fall to 14. I think Will can play 2 cards, but he still only will have... he'll still have 4 cards in hand, so... Visions is going to trigger. Will fall to 10. So yeah, Will is at 10 life now. Attack for 3 coming across here. 2 Long Tusk Cubs and no energy means that if Will wants to kill this Amalgam, he does have to double block it and lose one of his Cubs. Not a winning trade, as of course the Amalgam will just come back the next turn with the help of the Stitchwing Scobs. Travis' only problem this game so far is his mana, of course. We're going to draw a Fever Visions card here. And pass back. Will just looking for land number 5 here. Again, 2 Verdurous Gearhulks in hand. And he does find his 5th land. He finds a forest top of his deck. So this is going to open a lot more doors for Will. His hand right now, if I'm not mistaken, is a Ballista, 2 Gearhulks, and a Rishkar. Yeah, it looks like what it is. So his choice here is, does he want to play Ballista Rishkar or just a Gearhulk? If he goes with just the Gearhulk, he does fall to 8 at the end of turn. However, he's putting on a much faster clock. Much more aggressive clock. I mean, Ballista Rishkar isn't too bad either. Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and play Gearhulk here. Let's see what our targets are. Looks like he's targeting all 3 of them. And it looks like we have, in response to that, we're discarding a Fiery Temper and an Advanced Stitchwing to bring back Stitchwing Scob. And we're going to pay for Fiery Temper to deal 3 damage to the Cub. This is after triggers targets have been decided. So anything that was going to the Cub is just going to be lost. It looks like the Elephant gets 1 and the Hulk gets 2. So it looks like he was targeting to put 1 on the Cub. Here's an attack for 4. Travis falls to 10 as well. Will's going to fall to 8 thanks to that trigger on the Visions. Prized Amalgam not able to attack here, as it is just going to walk into a 6/6. Now, Will has the ability to make his Gearhulk next turn at 10/10, and it has Trample. So Will's going to fall to 5 from the attack. Looks like Will's end of turn draw netted him in a Tomb with Ether. So nothing exciting there. Travis finds a 4th land. It is another copy of Sanctum Ugin, but he passes the turn. So Elder Deep Fiend here is very good. I think that probably locks the game up for Travis, depending on what Will does here on his turn. Again, Will is able to, he has right now 5 cards in hand. So he's going to take 2 from the Visions regardless. He's not going to be able to beat that. He can't play enough cards unless he drew a land. Walking Ballista for 1. Attune with... No, that's not the right one. He wants to play Rishkar. Rishkar, there we go. Okay. Rishkar, trigger on the stack, I would assume. He's going to choose his targets here. He's choosing... I believe the Gearhulk's going to be one of them, is my guess. Ballista and Elephant. Okay, interesting choices. Okay, so he did draw a land. So, yeah, Amalgam's going to block the Elephant. Travis takes 6. He'll fall down to 4. So a Deep Fiend here and Travis wins. Will not take any damage from the Fever Visions importantly here. So he will not die at end of turn. However, what do we have? Oh, yeah, we just bring back our Stitchwing. Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's going to be game. He has 6 in the air. Oh, no, it's not, because Ballista can shoot down the Stitchwing Scob. And I think Travis said in your end step. That's a mistrigger, though. He's already untapped, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, it does get to come back. That's fine. They hadn't progressed far enough. It was caught soon enough. Okay, so Ballista can shoot down Stitchwing Scob. Will fall to 2. A Fiery Temper closes the game out. If Travis has a Elder Deep Fiend, he's okay because he can sacrifice the Stitchwing Scob. Okay. Okay, what do we have here? So Travis actually can't cast a Fiery Temper on its own. He needs to Madness it out because he only has one red source. Okay. All right, let's see here. So 2 mana. This is the Defiend. That's lining up for Defiend. So sacrifice this. I'm going to tap your 2 creatures. You have no blockers. I attack you for 6 and you die. Okay. So Travis does take down game 2. All right, so evens it up here. Heading into a game 3, Will does get the play. He is the aggressive deck, so that is very important. Travis is, of course, playing here for his shot at top 4. This will put him to 9 points. Again, if I'm not mistaken, our other 4 9-pointers would have all been paired against each other and they would have all played. So there's going to be 2 locked up from that. If Will wins, he's a third. And then we go to a breaker between, I believe, 2 to at least 2 players, probably more. Okay. Pretty important that Will has the play here. Will is, of the 2, I would say, the more aggressive deck for sure. His deck is designed just to synergize with itself so well and just produce large threats at a time. Multiple threats at a time. The elephant last game was just huge, or game 1, I should say. And Travis really had no way to fight that elephant. But yeah. All right, so Will looks at his opening 7. I believe he did bring in a copy of Lost Legacy. I think it's his opening hand here. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that's what that is in his hand. It looks like he's kept his hand. Travis looks to have kept as well. Okay. Well, the Lost Legacy is important as it gets to name Elder Deepfiend here, and that takes away one of Travis's main game plans, which can just be Deepfiend lock. But all right, Elephant, pick it back up, get an energy, sure. Wandering Fumarole, say go. Now we did see Travis board in at least one copy of Negate. We saw him discard it there in game 2. So another elephant, or the same elephant. Second land. So next turn, the elephant is poised to come into play and stay in play. However, Will may decide to go for a Lost Legacy here instead. I think he is. Yep, Lost Legacy. And Travis has the negate. That's big. It's just Travis's turn to try and push ahead. And that's a good way to do it. Fever Visions comes down here. And Will has a lot of cards in hand. Yeah, Travis is in a great spot now. Will is able to play 2 cards here if he'd like. Glint Sleeve, Siphoner, and he doesn't have a 4th land as a problem here. Elephant's the other card he can play afterwards. He would be down to 1 energy then. He's going to play Cub and Elephant instead. Interesting. Okay. Visions, draw a card. He finds his 4th land off of that, unfortunately. But not soon enough that he can play it. So Will falls to 18. Travis is in a pretty good spot now. If he can keep up the pressure here, we could see him steal us away. He's going to go ahead. He's going to lay next to the Cub. Interesting. The Cub, of course, has potential to grow larger. Oh, wow. So I've been told that right now Travis has in hand 2 copies of Prized Amalgam. That's going to be insane when he discards both of them to return a Stitchwing Scob at end of turn. And Will's second main phase, more importantly. That's going to be good. Glint Sleeve Siphoner is the play here for Will. It's going to get him an energy. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Will draws a card and falls to 16. Oh boy, that was a good turn there for Travis. Yeah, Will's turn 3 of essentially do nothing. Kind of put it like it set him so far back. Will's gonna fall to 7 from this attack. He's gonna actually block an Amalgam, so he's gonna go to 10 instead. Yeah, Will is in a lot of trouble. He needs a lot of removal spells to fight through this now. Oh, and a second Fear Visions comes down for Travis here. We're gonna draw 2 every turn now, and if you have 4 or more each time, you're taking 2 damage. So, or 4 damage total. Will does have a 5th land in hand and a Gear Hulk to go with it, but it's just that's not enough. He'll take 4 on his end step, go to 6. He can't attack, that means. I'm curious if he's debating playing... well, he has Grasp of Darkness, and he has a Walking Ballista. So he can grasp... I guess an Amalgam, shoot the Scob with the Ballista, leave back his Elephant to block. Jeez. I don't think it's going to matter here, though. Will's going to take a bunch of damage turns, then he's going to take 4. And I've also been told Travis has in hand a copy of Elder Deep Fiend. So, yeah, this is likely just over. Will's trying to think if he can give him some of the situation, but I don't think he can. Is there an elephant in his hand as well? Yeah, but it won't give him enough energy. He'll have to put it back in his hand afterwards. Yeah, he's only able to play 1 more card here. Yeah. Take 2, take 2. Travis is going to untap. He's going to have Elder Deep Fiend. Now, Will can't... He won't die, because Will can shoot down the Stitchwing Scob, and he can Grasp of Darkness another one of the Amalgams. But, I mean, it's just a short... Yeah, okay, that's enough. Yeah, Will's seen enough there. So Travis... Travis does steal that away here. He was the 6-pointer. He fights back from a Game 1 loss there and takes it down in 3. So congrats to him. He finishes the tournament in the Swiss portion 3-2